Do you know a little about the evolution of drug therapy? What are exactly the drug information sources? Let's initiate the responses to these fireshot questions in today's episode. Welcome all to Is Pharmacology Difficult podcast. I'm your host Dr. Radhika Vijay, MBBS MD Pharmacology, and this is the audio hub to get the best simplified basic tips, strategies, methods, and lots of ideas to learn better, understand better, and to make your concepts crystal clear. If you really find and there's a question hovering in your minds, is pharmacology difficult? Lend me your ears for a while and let in the magic of knowledge. Ancient Mesopotamian civilizations, Indian, Chinese, Egyptian records, they all describe disease as a complex, something supernatural, superstitious concept, a real bad omen. Still, Mexican literature threw light on the use of proper diet and herbs to get over the diseases. Then eventually came the Greek humoral system of medicine. It laid emphasis on maintaining the balance of the four humors or the fluids of body. What were these four humors? Bile, yellow and black, blood and phlegm. Later on, a little rational scientific school of thought evolved, and slowly the patient, or should I more specifically say the individual, became the focus. Science developed rapidly on its pace. It was known and proved that epidemics differed in severity and effects. Different diseases affected different organs. Focus was shifting rapidly from the patient or the individual to the disease. Then invention of microscope, it laid the cellular foundation of basic construction unit of the living system. Germ theory also evolved. Therapeutic nihilism, it prevailed underratedly, and slowly it scintillated as a diamond in the dark as the processes in living beings were studied thoroughly. All in all, things were really happening. And what I conclude here is that therapy by the drugs, it requires a hell of skill, wisdom, knowledge, a sense of judgment, and utter responsibility. You know what? Clinical practice really sharpens the theory known. Then I want to talk about drugs here. The drugs could be useful, they could be harmful. Usefulness of drugs, it is shown by improved sleep, health, and improved quality of life. And how is the harmful effects or the damage done by the drug? It can range from petty side effects like insomnia to life-threatening anaphylactic shock. Principally, the drugs, they find use to prevent, suppress, diagnose, and cure a disease. Well, it's a great point of discussion to open up this new topic of talk, which I call as the sources of drug information here. If I ask you to name your sources of drug information, what will you tell me? You will say first and foremost, textbooks, articles, newspapers. And if you are a really researcher mind and thorough reader, you can really tell me about journals. Well, and everybody's getting tons of information and data and latest news from the internet for sure. Technology has revolutionized methodology. For your very fine information, I want to tell you that sources of drug information, they can be classified as primary, secondary, and tertiary. Let's throw some light on these and elaborate these terms. Primary is original information. That is sure. Primary means the first one. That is the original information. It is gathered from reports, papers, case studies. It includes meta-analysis, randomized controlled trials, and it is found in the journal articles. The next I want to talk about is secondary. It's the next level because it is secondary. So it's the next level to the primary. If the primary information is reviewed, commented upon, modified, added upon value by someone else, then they take the form of review articles, textbooks, and for example, I want to tell you about Medline, which you might be knowing, might be not, etc. So you got the difference between the primary and the secondary thing? Let's move further. Let's talk about tertiary. Tertiary sources, they are next to both primary and secondary. And if you want to very simply define the tertiary sources, I would like to tell that if both primary and secondary information, they are summarized in the form of a textbook format, in the form of a text-based format like a book, or some reference sources or drug compendia, etc., then it would turn out to be what is called a tertiary source of drug information. And then it definitely includes the old information and it also includes the new information. So both old and new knowledge about medicines and drug therapy can be found mixed in the form of tertiary sources of drug information. Now, if I tell you to do some research about a particular topic, how will you progress? Where will you go? Where you will start your research? Well, I'm sure your answer is primary literature. Well, you're totally wrong, because if you want to really go in a convenient, stepwise, organized and easy way, then go the back way. Go the reverse way. Start searching and finding your topic in the tertiary literature, because there you'll get a summarized form. Now, if you're able to understand and you know something beforehand, then I think that's more than enough for you. But still you want to know more, then go to the secondary literature. Okay, that's a little in a easier form than the primary. And you really want to dive deep and you want to go till the depth of the ocean, you're free to go to the primary sources of literature. They're so all available on internet, all the journals, all about the trials. Whatever depth you want to explore, you can do that. It's all in your hands. But to start off, start with the tertiary, then the secondary, and then primary. If you go this way, you will be able to make the understanding of that particular topic in a better manner. If you straight away go from the primary to secondary to tertiary, you will some way end up be confused, stuck, and really worried about what you want to do. So take this step, go the back way, go the reverse way. Now, you might be wondering what are actually the basic and the best well-known sources of drug information. We will definitely extend this point of discussion, but in our next episode. For all the updates, latest episodes of my podcast, please visit www.ispharmacologydifficult.com, where you can also sign up for a free monthly newsletter of mine. It actually contains a lot of updates about the medical sciences, drug information, and my podcast updates also. You can follow me on different social media handles like Twitter, Insta, Facebook, and LinkedIn. They all are with the same name, Is Pharmacology Difficult? If you are listening for the first time, do follow me here, whatever platform you are consuming this episode. Stay tuned. Do rate and review on iTunes, Apple Podcast. Stay safe. Stay happy. Stay enlightened. Thank you.